Okay guys, I have such a special treat today. I will be making my favorite tea, which is jasmine tea. I'm gonna have two different types of jasmine tea and they'll be of varying grades, and then I'm gonna compare them with you guys against flavor, taste, and smell. I absolutely love the smell of jasmine, so I can't wait to get started. I hope you guys are cuddled up with your own cup of tea, and let's do this. So it seems like I lost sound at this point, so for your entertainment, I will be dubbing this clip. Welcome to Who's Got the Tea, where we discuss all things tea. My name is Shayna Who, and I am a tea enthusiast exploring tea and taking you with me. Well, you guys know before I get to making my teas, I always talk about them, so let's talk. Jasmine tea. So jasmine tea is a term that kind of encompasses many teas. It's more of a style. Jasmine tea is made by scenting tea leaves with jasmine flowers, or preferably jasmine buds, before they've opened and bloomed. So let's talk a little bit about jasmine, the flower. So jasmine flowers originate from China. They are most abundant now in the Fujian province. They grow along the mountainsides. So they look like little white to cream colored dainty buds. But they have a very unique smell, and once you smell jasmine, you will always know what it smells like. So I want to talk a little bit about the jasmine tea making process. It's kind of complicated and complex, but I still think that we should go over it because it's so important. There's a high quality tier and there's a lower common quality tier. Jasmine tea is made when jasmine flowers are picked before they've bloomed and they are mixed in with tea leaves. They are left to sit overnight, and in the nighttime, the jasmine buds actually will bloom, and that's when they release their strongest scent. So the jasmine is releasing its scent, the tea will absorb the jasmine scent, and then in the morning, the jasmine flowers that have already bloomed will be picked out, and the new, fresh jasmine buds will be placed in the tea to do the process once again in the night. This process of having jasmine buds repeatedly bloom and then release their scent into the tea is what makes the tea so strongly scented of jasmine. This process will continue for a varying amount of time. It could be days, it could be weeks. But the longer that the jasmine flowers have processed the tea and scented the tea, that's the tea that's going to be the higher quality. Obviously, because more time has been placed into those teas. The lower grade teas have either been artificially or synthetically processed to have that jasmine flavor, or they have gone through maybe 1 to 2 processes of having those actual jasmine buds scent the tea. And so that's why you guys have varying degrees of jasmine tea. So now that I've told you a little bit about the jasmine tea, I'm really excited to get into the 2 grades of tea that we have today. All right, so this is our first tea that we'll be steeping. The brand is Sunflower. It's a very common tea. You can get it at any local grocery store, and we're actually going to take a closer look at the leaves right now. Here you can see the jasmine tea leaves. The type of tea that we're using today is green tea. You can see that the leaves are pretty fine in texture. They are a monotone brown color here. Some teas that are jasmine, that are green tea, have green or yellow hues to them, but this one's just brown. Next up, we have a loose leaf jasmine green tea that I purchased from Ten Ren's Tea Shop in New York. And if I recall correctly, it is a grade 3 jasmine tea. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Wow guys, look at the difference here. you can see that this tea has actually a little bit of green hue to it. There's also some yellow bits here, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's still remnants of the jasmine flowers. This looks like the jasmine petal here, if you guys can see. Which means that there are still a few pieces of jasmine in the leaves, which means that this tea will probably be more aromatic than the other tea. I'm really excited to steep this and see what kind of flavors we get. Tea to tea, the jasmine from the local grocery store on the left was darker than the jasmine from the tea shop on the right. Also, the tea shop jasmine had a much stronger, prominent smell of jasmine than the tea that I purchased from the grocery store. Once the water is boiling, we'll add our loose leaf tea to our cute little traditional teapot. Pour in our water and let that steep for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Once our tea is ready, we can pour it into our little cups and serve. A few tea leaves might spill out, but don't worry, that's perfectly normal. Our second tea is the tea that I purchased from the tea shop. The instructions for steeping specify to use 160 to 180 degree Fahrenheit water, and that's to prevent singeing of the tea leaves, which could cause a bitter flavor. After about 5 to 10 minutes, our jasmine tea is ready to pour. All right guys, we finally made our teas. Nothing left to do but to taste. So let's taste. First up is the Sunflower brand jasmine green tea. Based on looks alone, it's a little bit darker as compared to the other tea. Also, there are more green leaves that have seeped out of the teapot and slipped into my cup, but that could just be because my other teapot has a really good filtering system. So let's taste. So I think that this is a very pleasant tea. I get the jasmine floral notes, and it's not bitter. And that's very important because when you make a green tea, it's very easy to oversteep them, and when you oversteep them, a bitter flavor will come out. So I don't taste that, so I'm pretty happy with this one. Next up is our 10 Wrens jasmine green tea. From what I know about jasmine tea, there are at least 5 levels. So being at 3, this is an intermediate level tea. 1 obviously would be the top-notch level jasmine green tea. So let's take a look here. It's lighter, like I said, and it's ultra filtrated, so there really aren't any particles. Okay. When I look for a jasmine green tea, this is what I say I would optimally want. This tea is good, but I like a jasmine tea that has as much jasmine floral flavor as possible. And for me, that's gonna be the 10 Wrens tea. So I think that for me, this is the winner. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys today, but thank you so much for joining me. I truly loved making my favorite tea with you guys. Let me know in the comments if you make jasmine tea at home, if you like it, or if you have a certain way of doing it. But until next time, see you soon.